Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It is Thursday, May the 15th, 2025. It's another Technical Alpha podcast. Glad you could join us today. Got another great show lined up for you. We had a bit of a hiatus. Mr. Black is not hearing me right now, I don't think.
Yeah, I hear you.
You do? Okay, because Discord was saying I'm not detecting any input, so I was a little concerned there for a moment, but we're good. We're good. All right, let me just do that and this, and there we go. Yeah. A little hiatus there. It was a busy couple of weeks leading up to Em and I going away on honeymoon. And then we went away on honeymoon for 2 weeks, basically. Not fully 2 weeks, but close to it, around 12 or 13 days by the time you factor in the travel time to and from. But yeah, it was a good time. Now we're back and in action. We had no crazy amount of news in the last few weeks that we missed out on. I've added a couple of things from previous weeks that we might have missed that were kind of standouts. But generally speaking, bit of a lull, which especially for gaming makes sense right now because we are approaching, as crazy as it is to say, Summer Game Fest is not that far away. I can't even fucking believe that we're that far into the year that we're talking about Summer Game Fest being in the next, next month, basically. I would say it's probably 3 or 4 weeks, be about a month. Yeah, more or less 4 weeks from now. And so, you're gonna see a bit of a slowdown in some instances of stuff being put out because everyone is preparing their showing for Summer Game Fest, and so we can look forward to some more of that. But for now, we have a couple weeks worth of stuff that we can catch up on. And before we dive into that, do you want me to start with my week while you type, or yeah?
Yeah,
okay.
Go for it. Sorry, I've just had these phone calls, just something with this properties, and I'm just shooting off this email. So you do you, and
no problem.
I'm gonna jump right in. Thank you.
So my week, well, my last couple of weeks, anyway. My last couple of weeks were great. The honeymoon was awesome. We I guess the abridged version of the honeymoon was is for those who didn't know already, we went to Portugal and Spain because they're right next to one another, and we had to fly back out of Portugal anyway to go home. So what we did was we actually went to Porto in Portugal first, then we flew to Sevilla in Spain, and then because we had to go through Lisbon airport on the way home, we spent another few days in Lisbon as our last stop, and then we hopped on the plane and came home. While we were there in Porto, that was when the Iberian Peninsula all lost power. That was an interesting experience. So pretty much the majority of Portugal and Spain, and then a southern chunk of France, as I'm sure many of you would have heard about or perhaps even experienced, because I know we've got people in the Light TV community from Portugal and Spain and France. No power, and I mean no power. It was in fact, I don't think I've experienced that level of no power in my life, and it was an interesting experience because obviously we were in a totally different country, surrounded by other tourists and even locals. But how do I even describe it? So for one, in a lot of instances, there wasn't even cell phone reception. Like you just outright, like the towers didn't have power. So except for a handful of towers, depending on what carrier you were with, and this is not just for tourists, but this was for the locals. Like some locals didn't have data. Sometimes you could make calls, but you couldn't use any data, so you couldn't go online and get updates or anything like that as to what the hell was going on. Everyone was quite literally in the dark about it for a long while. But the power went off around 11 o'clock in the morning, and at first, Em and I thought that it was part of a planned fire drill that the hotel that we were staying in was going to be running that day. And they had told everyone that there might be some power interruptions and water interruptions and stuff like that. So when we woke up and we had we had our breakfast and whatnot, and we had no idea what was going. We had no idea the power was out into the degree that it was. So we had our breakfast. We left the hotel after getting our stuff, and we would just kind of set out on our day as we normally would. Actually, sorry, I'm mixing this up. We went out to get brunch because we had slept a little longer that day. So we went to go to a spot that we had gone to the day before. And when we got there, there was lineups and stuff. But the one thing I noticed immediately was the sheer number of people in the streets, which at that time of day was really uncommon. Portugal and Spain are similar in that the closer you get to around 11, 12 in the afternoon and getting closer to 2 o'clock, 1 o'clock, the closer in that pocket you get, the less places are open, the less people are out and around. They tend to go inside with, the peak heat, and then they go back out. Come back out with many places opening back up, 6, 7 o'clock at night. So it was really weird. Immediately, I felt odd. I was like, why is there so many fucking people out and around right now? And when I say a lot of people, I mean, how do I... So, Porto is not a main city in the way that Lisbon is. But when you were on the streets in Porto, there were like 20, 30,000 people walking around. It was like a shitload of people. And so I was a little unsettled by that. I was like, that's a little odd. Anyway, we continued walking towards where we were going to go get breakfast. And when we got there, along the way, we started noticing there are other places without power. And we were like, okay, that's weird. Maybe there was like a legit power outage. And we get to the place, and we're noticing places are just like shut down, but people are still lining up. Which presumably at the time was because not even the shopkeepers, of course, knew exactly to the extent in which power was out. And so they were still letting people line up. But eventually they started, like, there were places that were just sending people away. They were like, we're closed. The power's gone. It's not coming back. We can't be serving people. We can't, we don't have our pay systems or whatever else. Like, oh, okay, great. And that eventually happened to the place that we went to. And I was like, okay, this is really getting weird now. So at the time, I still had data. And I hopped on, and but the data was slow, like real slow. And I was like, oh, this is not, something fucky is afoot. And I look it up and I find out what happened, and I was like, oh shit, it's not just out here, it's out like fucking everywhere. And so I looked at him and I said, we've got to find somewhere around here that's still selling some food, because we haven't eaten yet. And get a bunch of bottled water, and then just go back to the hotel, because the exact words I said to her was, this is going to turn into The Walking Dead really quick. Like, there are 20, 30,000 people. Almost all of them are tourists. Many of them are also, like, they're fish out of water. They don't know where they are, what they're doing. Everyone's looking for food. Everyone's looking for water. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And I said, I do not want to be out and around all of these people as they are finding out that basically three countries have lost power simultaneously. I don't want to be in this fucking mess. So we found a spot that's been open for a long while, and they, bless them, they were working like their ass off to just get simple sandwiches out the door. So they were doing like croissants and like ham and cheese. And then they were doing everything in cash. So if you had cash, they were doing it. They were doing napkin math, just fucking doing like whatever they could to get everything working. So we bought some food there. We ate some food. We bought a little extra. We got a bottle of water, like a 2-liter bottle of water. And then I was like, all right, let's just get the fuck. Because people at that point were like going everywhere, doing the same thing, looking for food, looking for water. And I said, we got to get out of here. So we went back to the hotel. Not long after that, I lost all data. And so I switched. I had, two SIM cards, and I switched to my my other SIM card, and I got a little bit of data on that SIM card for about the next 2 hours, but then even the data on that died. And so for a good while, we had no contact, no updates, no idea what was happening, what caused the power outage. All we knew was that basically the entire country of Portugal, pretty much all of Spain, and a good chunk of France had no power. And that was a weird feeling. With no data and everything else, I was like, did we just get caught in like some sort of weird fucking like cybersecurity, like preemptive fucking bullshit going on right now, and we're just hanging out in Portugal? It was a really weird thing because you couldn't get any information. I eventually got the ability to call home. No data, but I could call. So I called home, and then Dad was sending me texts that would come in like once every like 30 minutes. We'd get like a blip of fucking data. Like data would just come on, and it was just enough to get text message through. And we got updated that way. Thankfully, power came back on later that night, which was good because that was our last day in that hotel. They had no access to their systems. They didn't know if they were going to be able to put us up in a room, if they would even have room, because people were still arriving. Airports were completely closed down. We had a flight early the next morning to go to Sevilla, so we didn't know if we were just going to be literally without anywhere to stay, and the flight wasn't going to be going to Sevilla. So we didn't know if we were going to have to like find other lodgings, extend our stay, cancel things in Spain, etc., etc. So we were very pleased, very happy to see that they get the power back up, and the rest of the trip went pretty much without a hitch, which was nice. After that, it was quite an experience. But I apologized. I did when I had data. Briefly, I tweeted out. I don't know if you saw this one, but I tweeted out. I said my apologies to Portugal and Spain. I brought with me my bad travel luck. That's my bad. I apologize. This one's on me. And so it was it was quite an experience. But Portugal and Spain were both beautiful. Em and I enjoyed both quite a bit. We ate enough pastel de nata to fucking gain a bunch of weight, but thankfully we walked like 30,000 steps a day, uphill, basically, all over Portugal, so it was fine. It was fine. We burned off the calories. I drank enough port wine to fucking float an elephant. I was, on the last day in Lisbon, I was literally drunk from like 10 o'clock in the morning until 12 o'clock that night. I was fucked. Everywhere we went, they were just offering port wine. And I was like, well, I can't just say no. I'm here. I gotta drink the port wine. And I kept drinking it. And that shit's 20% alcohol. And so like the whole day, I was just fucked. And Em, who like takes no alcohol at all before she's just shit-faced out of her tree, she only drank a little bit, and she was like, you gotta finish this for me. So I'm drinking mine. I'm drinking hers. I'm drinking everyone's fucking port. And by the end of the night, I was actually concerned I was going to wake up the next day with the world's worst fucking hangover, but I survived, thank fuck. I drank like 3 liters of water to try to fucking flush as much of it out of my system as possible, but it was delicious, and I appreciate all the peoples of Portugal and of Spain for hosting us in our time. That's not even peak season. Dude, the amount of people was insane. I don't want to be there in peak season. It was so many people, like in Sevilla especially, not quite peak season yet, and in the afternoon, shoulder to shoulder, like fucking everywhere. It was nuts. Like the amount of people was insane. And so I can appreciate, while it wasn't in Sevilla, thankfully, in Barcelona and Madrid, the locals are rebelling. They're like, there's too many fucking tourists. This is too much. And so they're out there with like water guns and with like the buses and shit with tourists are in them trying to see like, you know, the sights. They're shooting the windows with water guns so that they can't see out of the fucking windows. It's the most European passive aggressive fucking like thing I've ever seen in my life. But they're because the government obviously making a shitload of money on tourism. Spain is the #1 location in the world in 24 and I think in 25 thus far. So they're making money hand over fist with tourism. The problem is that they're selling and giving too much property over to tourism and not enough property over to the local population, and it's causing like everywhere, housing issues. But instead of immigration, it's just straight raw fucking tourism. Too many fucking people showing up to see the Familia and everything else in Spain and enjoy tapas and everything else, which is amazing and a good reason to go. But I don't blame them, because when you look at how many people were there and it wasn't even peak season, I was like, bro, I said to Emma, I said, there's no way I could live here. It would drive me insane. I'd go fucking bonkers. This many people here. But it was a good time, and we appreciated it, and it was good to be home, and we didn't get the AIDS. We didn't get travel AIDS. Miracle.
The dream.
The dream. There dream. And back. Zero.
That's crazy.
I thought for sure on the way back,
I went
because
to Spain and got
COVID. you got caught up. I did. We masked on the planes specifically because the planes are just, and we turn that fan thing off in the face and everything else, and just hope for the best.
Yeah.
But we got lucky. So the flights to and from Portugal, which were the long ones, they were like the 8-hour flight. We were in not quite the exit row, but the one right behind the exit row, where in these planes that we were on, there was an Airbus. The seat that, one of the seats that the flight attendants sit in is in front of the aisle seat. And so it's like the same amount of leg room as an exit row, basically. And then the two seats next to you are more like normal seats. In the first one going over, we got to pay $88 and buy the last seat in the row so that nobody could be next to us. And so we did. And so we had the whole row to ourselves going there. And then on the way back, they gave us the option, but it wouldn't, it was not working. It wasn't taking our payment. We were like, fuck. We thought we had it both ways. We get on the plane, sure as shit, nobody sat next to us. We didn't even have to pay. We had the whole row to ourselves, 8 hours coming back from Portugal on the way home as well. So we got very lucky. The only person I had to sit next to that wasn't my wife on the whole trip was on the last plane from Toronto to Halifax. And of course, that woman was sick. So I thought for sure, I was like, this is it. We got all the way here. It's fine because we're going home. But of course, it would be the last flight. This woman, and she took my phone jack. She was like, I'm just gonna, do you mind if I just plug my phone in here? I was like, yeah, just fuck Jesus Christ, just take the damn phone jack. But it was great. Got lots of great pictures. Wonderful time. Beautiful place. Would love to go back again in the future. And now that I have successfully burned all that time, Mr. Black, how were the last couple of weeks for you?
Weeks were fine. I've just been streaming a lot. Finally got my racing sim fixed on, what was it, yesterday? Got it fixed yesterday.
Okay.
Or no, Tuesday. So I got a semi-cube in there now, and it is god tier. It is it's not even...
It should be for the price.
It literally feels like from driving a Honda to a Ferrari. It's that much of a difference. So, yeah, I can actually start sim racing again, so that's good. That was MIA. I couldn't play it for a month, and it just took a while because they needed an attachment for that wheelbase, because the Moza wheel that I have, it doesn't
it won't work
with it. You need an extender. And this whole other device. So that came in, got all that set up, and I finally got a slider on my seat, so I can move my seat back and forth now.
The dream.
So it's all good. But just been streaming. The reason why I was kind of not paying attention, I had 2 phone calls right before we started doing the thing. It was about this apartment building that I'm closing on in the next 30 days. And so once I'm done this, I actually have to drive out there and do something else. But I've just been busy, but not that busy at the same time. I mean, the weather's here, so I've been getting the house ready. Just there's so many leaves and landscaping and shit. I've just been doing 2-3 hours on the nice days, just kind of picking at it. So I'm say 50-60% done. So I'm gonna try, and when I get home, do another hour or 2 more stuff, just prepping for the spring that is actually here now. We're almost damn near summer. Spring was almost non-existent, but sure, we'll take it. And that's pretty much it. Just been grinding. That's the show.
Exciting.
I wasn't in Spain. I didn't have a honeymoon. I had a honeymoon fucking almost 11 years ago. So
It's a long time ago.
yeah.
It's a long time ago. Yeah, I'm doing the same thing. You know, a lot of yard work and whatnot. Got rid of a tree. And been digging a French well by hand, which has been an experience, but labor is way too expensive. I'm not paying somebody to dig fucking holes. If you can even find somebody, they don't even want to do small jobs anymore like that. You basically have to pay them as much as if they were doing a massive fucking job. And so I've been out there doing that, and the next round of gravel should arrive later today to fill that trench in, and and just doing other stuff, new flower bed stuff, like putting another flower bed in the back and whatnot for M, and getting stuff set up, trying to figure out what I'm going to do in the backyard, how much grass I actually want to put back there, figure out how I'm going to tackle trying to keep the deer from constantly wanting to be in the yard because tick season's here. You know what? If somebody asked me, like, what's the reason if you ever wanted to move out of Nova Scotia, like, what would it be? It's actually ticks. It's not winter. It's not the snow. It's not the fucking rain. It's not whatever the fuck. It's ticks. We went from, you know, back in my day, you know, when I was younger, we went from just don't go fucking rolling through hay fields for 3 hours in southwest Nova Scotia, and you're going to be fine. You and I spent an inordinate amount of time in the woods as kids. Zero.
Yeah.
Zero ticks. I can't fucking look in the general direction of the woods now without 7,000 fucking ticks suddenly appearing from the mists, and just attaching itself to, you know, themselves to everything and anything. Oh, hold on. You want? You burn some time. Somebody's at my door.
Hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Yeah, ticks. They're not fun. I actually, let me see what the topics are here today. Cause I know it's been a couple of weeks since, we've done, okay, here it is. Well, I'm reading Adam's notes. Well, it happened. GTA 6 was delayed into spring 2026. It will be fun watching how many games now announced for this fall. LOL. So yeah, you hear it. GTA 6 not coming out until May of 2026, which means I'm sure a lot of games are going to try and release this fall to get out of the GTA 6. Sorry, Adam, I did your whole.
No, it's okay.
I did your whole thing. Well, it happened. GTA 6 was delayed into spring 2026.
Oh, you actually just rolled right
how many games are now announced this fall? LOL.
Just directly reading the notes off. It's true. It happened. It got delayed.
As I expected. I expected this to happen. And I honestly think, you know what I think this is? I think this is all to do with tariffs. I think that this delay is because of tariffs. I don't think it's because of the fact the game ain't ready. I believe that they could have gotten the game. This is my own speculation.
Okay.
I think that there was a lot of uncertainty on how much tariffs were going to be happening. And consoles, I mean, this is going to be a huge console seller. This is going to be a huge game seller. And I think that it really does matter. And I think that they want to maximize. And of course, this allows them to polish even more, right? This just allows them, gives them more time so they can hit two birds at one stone. I personally believe in my soul that if there was none of this like tariff shit, which is starting to sort of dissipate a little bit now, it's still a very big thing, but like now we're starting to see sort of the light at the end of the tunnel. But at the time there was a lot of uncertainty, like a whole lot. We saw the Nintendo Switch even do a delay with the pre-orders, not knowing what's going on with all of that. And let's not get it twisted. Grand Theft Auto 6 is still going to sell millions of consoles. Millions. Like not a few thousand, millions. And they want to make sure that that they can accurately get a price, work with the consoles. I mean, I wouldn't even have like I believe that even like Xbox, Sony, they're all in talks with Rockstar. They're setting all this shit up. They're fucking ready to go. They'll probably be Grand Theft Auto type packages for these consoles and themed consoles for both Xbox and PlayStation. So I personally think that it plays a big factor. And that's the reason why we're getting the delay that we're getting. But
yeah,
that's the cope I'm on.
Yeah, I didn't think that there would be a delay, if only because they had so many times in a row adamantly said that they were definitely hitting that window. But I could see it being tariff related. I could see it. I could see it also just being like what they had with what was it? Red Dead, I think, got delayed at least a couple of times as well. So it's just possible either way. I mean, the tariffs are fucking everyone's shit up. So that's a safe bet for sure. Everyone's trying to figure out what to release their games in terms of the pricing of them, and you know, some of that's going to depend. Now, in fairness, I guess there's a little bit of complication with games because it's a medium in which there is still physical but also then the majority digital sales. And so you can't like stockpile exclusively a bunch of physical copies ahead of time in the attempt to be able to keep prices lower before tariffs hit, like you saw with Nintendo trying to get stock of the consoles in the country before shit got too crazy, or graphics card manufacturers trying to get as much into the country before the tariffs got too wild so that they could keep prices within reason and not just lose a bunch of money with inventory sitting outside of the US, for example. So I could totally see that being some part of it for sure. However, now we are seeing, and this is another part, and I guess I can just skip down to it. It's a part of the quick news. No, it's not part of the quick news. It's the main news, the last point here. So, following Nintendo and just the market in general, Xbox raised the prices of all of the series consoles, so Series S, Series X, etc. And premium games, so the in-house AAA titles and whatnot, are also, like we started to see with Nintendo, like we're going to see and have seen to a degree with Sony, sports titles, etc. already. $80 will be the new floor for that stuff. So, 95 basically Canadian dollars before tax for a AAA game seems like it's going to likely be the new floor this holiday season. So GTA was probably waiting to see how some of that, I imagine, was playing out. Now, they could charge literally damn near anything they want. It's not going to matter a fucking lick. But it's true. There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of complicated issues just trying to circumnavigate the current tariff-laden market in ways that I'm sure has played into this delay. But what that does mean is that a whole host of games that were clearly delaying or holding back on their announcement of when they were going to release are probably going to now announce that they're coming out this fall. Like, there are a ton of games, I'm sure, that were avoiding the GTA6 window, trying to not release in that same window of time, and now it's probably going to result in a couple of games showing up at the end of this year that would have been showing up later to try to avoid that window, and now they're going to have to avoid the spring window. So we'll see how many of those games end up coming to the surface. We did get a second trailer for GTA 6 as well, and that was evidently run on a base PS5. So depending on how much, I didn't get a chance to watch the Digital Foundry video on it yet, but depending on how much of that was like an in-game cutscene versus gameplay where they strip the UI, very impressive one way or the other. I mean, we're talking about graphics technology that nobody else is even fucking approaching right now. Something as simple as like people on their bikes, but they're wearing flip-flops and the flip-flops separating from the heel when they're pedaling Uh, obviously a fairly substantial amount of some version of ray tracing seen like in on glasses when they're driving in cars and whatnot, texture work. Now, we knew that this game was going to bring the heat in that department anyway, because it's Rockstar, and Rockstar with GTA 5 did, this was similar. They did some phenomenal tech with GTA 5, and so this is going to be no different. And we've even seen some, albeit probably gimped tech in that updated GTA 5 release that they did not long ago. I can't remember what they called, like the enhanced edition or whatever the fuck. Which modders are now using those extra tools to push that even further. And GTA 5 modding was already nuts. Like visually, you could do some pretty crazy things. It's getting crazier, and GTA 6 looks like it's going to push the envelope even further than that. So we'll have to wait and see. It would be ideal, I'm sure, for a lot of people if this game runs relatively well on a base PS5, because another part of this increase in cost around video games themselves, console prices, generally speaking, even assuming not the catastrophic levels of tariffs that we have right now, but even a small amount of tariffs, which seems to be what's going to stick regardless. There seems to be some underlying baseline that is going to be sticking for some period of time, is possible to be pushing console costs up anywhere from 40, 50, they have in the article 69, that had to be intentional, nice, percent above their current costs right now, based on tariffs, because of how many parts inside these consoles come from many countries that are getting heavily tariffed, and then the final assembly location of these consoles are also in countries heavily tariffed, and then they're brought into the US, and you can't. It would take you a decade to set up fabs in the U.S. to circumvent these tariffs to be able to help keep the cost down.
I would say the likelihood of consoles going up 40, 50, or 69% is zero.
You figure?
Zero. Yes.
I think they're going to go up at least 25% by the end of the year. I think we're going to see a 25% increase on most things, from graphics cards, consoles, televisions.
I mean, the graphics cards is just the thing that happens regardless. But
I mean specific to because of the tariff situation and just what damage, because even if stuff is reversed, if it remains, it's
already being reversed.
No, I know, I understand, because of how tariffs affect things and how many have been placed everywhere and how much uncertainty it was introduced into the market, you can't just you can't back off on it and have everything just go back to normal immediately. There's quite a long tail to get back. Tariffs are very destructive in that regard.
But there's also a long tail in order for tariffs to actually take a real effect. It's not
like
necessarily
6 weeks to 3 months for tariffs.
Yes. And they're things, this whole, tariffing everything from the United States. This is United States.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these tariffs are not a thing in many other countries, right? So the United States is the United States. It's not Canada. It's not UK. It's not Australia. It's not thing. I'm not saying that those things don't affect, but even then, these astronomical tariffs that we've seen that were temporarily put on, they're already way down. Like even the China one is down to 30% or about to be down to 30%. It will continue to come down along with everything. There'll be a baseline tariff that the United States are going to put on virtually everybody, which will be 10 or 20%, probably 10% across the board. But outside of that, there's this 40, 50, 69%. That seems like a headline for clicks, bunch of bullshit. And I would put money, hard-earned money, on the table saying you will not, under any circumstance, see consoles go up by 40, 50, 69% because of tariffs. It's just not going to happen. I'll put any dollar amount.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to go up 69%. I do think that they will go up at least for some period of time, because of if this drags for any period of time, because most of the stuff like the UK and China are tentative like handshake agreements. They're not codified. They're not codified agreements right now that are long lasting. They're basically they sat down and talked and said, fine, for now we're going to back off on it, and this is going to be it.
That's because they're trying to land. That's because they're just trying to get a deal with China. China's the big player. Everybody
Yes, of
else is
course.
just the pawn, right?
Yeah.
So once the China deal happens, it's all going to come. You got to understand too, like you know, the administration needs to get all of this stuff done before the next line of voting happens, right? This is all going to happen. Everything is going to be complete this year. And I would imagine that the vast majority of all this stuff is going to be done in the next 90 days. I'm not saying that there will be no tariffs. There will highly likely be a tariff. But again, this is the United States. This isn't Canada. There will be a tariff on Canada, but again, I really feel as though it will be bare bones, bare minimal. And it may not even apply to this sort of thing if we're talking consoles, video games, that sort of stuff. Because
we won't get hit. We won't be getting hit the same. It won't be the same here. No.
And I mean, even China has already lowered their tariff down to 10% on the United States. So from 100 and something percent, right? Everybody is losing their goddamn minds. And I get it. And the market's already priced itself in, and the economy is already rebound from the catastrophic, you know, the world is doomed and fucked. And so I think if anything, everything is just going to keep pumping as there's more news that is going to come out. And, you know, I just think there's just there's a lot of fear and uncertainty for good reason. But again, I think it was very sexy to go to an extreme when it's there's bigger plays at B, and I think that more normalcy is going to continue to unfold over the coming months. I could be wrong, but you know it's Trump, so I mean I could be wrong, but at the same time I don't think so.
Yeah, I think the more likely it won't necessarily be directly, and this is outside the U.S., directly tariffs resulting in a 20-25% as what I'm expecting on many electronics. It will be all of the chilling effects and knock-on effects of all of this stuff that's happened up to this point and will likely continue at, let's say that you're right, and it goes for another 90 days, so 3 more months. The economy rebounding, sometimes, are we talking about like the stock price of some things stops cratering? Or are we talking about like every other part of the economy that gets affected that isn't immediately reflected on the NASDAQ or in the S&P 500 or something? Because there are, while the economy in that sense has rebounded in terms of like the stock market recuperating some losses, we're still down many tens of thousands of jobs in the auto sector on both sides of the border, for example, here in Canada and the US, because of just the
but
preamble.
We're not talking about that.
No, I understand, but what I'm saying is it's the grander scale of the actual, like the full economy and what it will mean for the price of things in general. Like the effects that it has on, for example, the Canadian dollar will be an impact on how much things cost here versus in similar instances elsewhere in terms of the economies going into semi-recessions for a period of anywhere from a year to 18 months, depending on how things might be panning out here coming up. We are still edging. We are edging a recession here. There are other places in the world that are doing. But
a recession is two quarters of downward. But we're not in the negative. So
no. I'm saying we're edging a recession in terms of if this continues. This is not me. This is like, for example, in Canada, the Bank of Canada is saying we're at great risk right now. It's not that it's a guarantee, but we are at the highest and I don't think it's a stretch of the imagination to assume that given all that's happened at this point.
They said we're at great risk is if everybody, if all these people that hedge the bond market all decided to sell all at the same time. It's not. It's or get out of their position. All these hedge funds. I mean, the Bank of Canada has been saying this shit about the economy for the last 2 years. I mean, every time that there's I watch all of this stuff. Like I watch every minute of it.
Yeah.
We're not going to be in a recession. The United States is not going to be in a recession. This is a whole bunch of fuckery, and I think the Bank of Canada has done a lot of fucking stupid shit, and they're using Trump and the tariffs as a way to say, hey, it's his fault all of this stuff is. It's the same thing with the Liberal Party. It just became a Trump show. But in reality, it's what they have been doing for the last God knows how long, 4 or 5 years. That has been the real problem. And they're just trying to divert because, you know, somebody larger than life is doing some crazy, wild stuff, right? That's that. Again, if there's a 10% tariff on the stuff, it is not going to result in a 20-25% consumer price hike. It just isn't. They're not going to go, okay, pardon me?
Depends on the product. 10% tariff on something.
Consoles.
Yeah,
we're talking about consoles.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about cars. I'm not talking about any of this stuff. We're talking about consoles. So if there's a 10% tariff on, I mean, again, we don't even have the tariff with China, right? Or all these other. Again, this is a United States problem. It's not a Canada problem. Yeah. Our problem is with they're not making consoles and these chips in the U.S. It doesn't. Yeah. It's not going to affect. It's not going to affect us the same way it's going to affect the States. So it's two totally different. It's two totally different economies, right? We're affected by the U.S. economy because we rely on the U.S. economy. But if China has a tariff on the United States for consoles, that doesn't mean that now we're paying the 100% tariff. And again, it goes to the business, the companies that are paying the tariff, right? Which then trickles down because then they got to raise the price to make up for the fact that they're paying a VAT essentially on
because their margin is not anywhere near some of these tariff amounts. Yeah,
is not as big. So if there's a 10% tariff, we're not going to get slapped with a 20-25% increase on a console, especially when the tariff thing has only really been in effect for what, a month, a little bit longer, 6 weeks. And things are constantly being renegotiated and solved. Again, it's a U.S. issue. It's not really it's a Canada issue, but again, I don't foresee a PlayStation selling for 300.
It's not going to be 69%. No,
it won't be 30%. It won't be 25%. It just won't be. And I'll put money on it. It just won't be. I mean, our dollar might get hurt a little bit more, which inherently might feel like it's more, but the price cost isn't going to go from $400 a console for a PlayStation 5 to $460 because of a tariff. It's just not going to happen.
Well, I just don't think
it's going to happen.
Like the only thing I can point to in terms of like what's the reach of this, even though the majority of this is centered on the US, is that when Xbox raised its prices recently, it's citing very specifically the tariffs and global economic situation that is happening, generally speaking. Yeah. So whether think
about it. When you raise your price,
whether it's accurate or not for them to say that.
There you go.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So okay, but it doesn't change the fact that it still ends up being. It's still part of the problem. Like, if it's going to give them a reason to do it, it's still happening. Like, it's not, if they come out and say, okay, well, we're going to increase it for the U.S., but that means we're just going to raise prices for everyone. So we're selling them in most regions at a increased cost, which is what Nintendo is doing, which is what Sony is doing, which is what Microsoft is now doing with the Xbox, in terms of both games sold digitally, physical copies, consoles, and otherwise.
But with the Nintendo, we knew it was already going to be a price increase even before the tariffs were in effect. Now, when the tariffs come into effect, they didn't raise the prices because of tariffs. They're raising the prices because the technology is going to be more expensive to make.
I mean, for the games.
It's bigger. Okay, yes. I mean, for the games. I mean, the economy as a whole, the more printing of money, And just inflation in itself is just adding to the prices. It just so happens that the tariffs are happening as well. And so it's much easier to just say, hey, it's the tariffs that's making your life hell. But when in reality, it's a little bit deeper than that. It's quite a bit more deeper than that. And it's being scapegoated in a lot of stuff. And it's sexy to say these things. And a lot of this stuff is political anyway. So they put this stuff on there to get the consumer to be angry at the administration for making the things that they love more expensive, as a play to put more pressure on the administration to remove this stuff altogether. And I think that there's a world in which there could just be free trade, which still may happen.
Like it's not that I don't disagree, or it's not that I disagree, but like the gamble on getting your consumers to be upset at any given administration because of policy that you are directly citing as the sole reason for something to increase the cost of your good, and then, as you said, in the next 90 days, it just up and disappears, the very thing that you just pointed at, and oops, you are now still keeping the price.
It won't up and disappear. You're putting words in my mouth. I didn't say it would disappear.
Well, in 90 days, it would be down to 10%. It would highly likely
be way down to whatever ridiculous chart that Trump showed, right? Because we all know that that's crazy.
Yes. So if you go from 90%, just arbitrary numbers, we're going from, 100%, and now it's 10%. And you cited we don't need to be semantic about it. We cite is 100% goes 10%, and you cited the reason why your consoles are going up in price because of the 100%, and then 90 days later, it's now 10%, and you don't change the price of your console. You've gambled all of the fact that your consumer base is going to yell at the administration for something that only lasted 90 days.
That's not the only thing. You're taking one piece and you're making that my entire argument. That's not my entire argument.
No, I'm just talking about it very specifically.
Some of this stuff happens. I'm saying some of this stuff happens. I'm not saying that Sony is out there trying to attack the administration on this. Okay, that's not what I'm saying.
I'm not saying that's what you're saying
that
either.
a lot of these headlines and a lot of these things are done to create anger, is to create look what this person has done. It's not necessarily, oh, you know what? We're going to tell the world we're going to up this price 69% because of tariffs, and that's the I'm just going to do that to rile you guys up to go yell at an administration to go and reconsider what the hell is going on. I'm saying that these things all play a part. It's not one thing. It's all encompassing. There's a lot of different moving things, and a lot of people want certain things to happen. Some people want the tariffs to happen. Some people don't want the tariffs to happen. It's a clusterfuck, the whole thing. But for me, again, I'm going to stand on it. And again, come next year or these next line of consoles when the GTA6 comes out or whatever, I don't think that there will be a 69, a 50, a 40, or a 25, or even a 20% increase on all consoles simply because of tariffs. And I feel like I'm going to be right.
Okay. I think we're hitting 20-25% on pretty much anything electronic, whether it's consoles, TVs, computer parts, all for the same reason, because all of these things have thousands of parts made in tens of countries, all getting affected by different tariff rates. And at some point, just like Microsoft is doing, ultimately, parts of it will be scapegoated as reasons to push prices up. And while it is not solely the tariff, it is peripherally the reason because the companies are pointing to them. Similar to when we went through the pandemic and prices went up because, the supply chain, and then the supply chain solved itself after about 18 months. And then all the prices magically stayed the exact same because they discovered that the market could bear the price change. Well, that's going to happen with tariffs. They're going to increase it on the back of talking about tariffs. And so whether it is literally the tariffs or not is immaterial. They are pointing to the tariffs as being the reason. They raise the price stays the same even when the tariffs go away. Everyone goes, what the fuck, for like 3 weeks. Everyone has the memory of goldfish. And then they just go back to paying now $900 or whatever the fuck it's going to be for the next round of like whatever the fuck PS5 Pro will cost in 2026. So right now the PS5 Pro is, I think it's 700. I can't remember if it's 700 or 799 in the US. I can't remember. And that's a non-tariff related cost, I don't think. I think that's just the raw, just launched cost. It wouldn't shock me if that went up 20-ish% in the next calendar year because of this situation we're in right now,
$1,000?
even close to, so that it is not necessary, because it won't go over 1,000, but it will be close to 1,000 for a PS5 Pro if things drag much longer. Like 3 months, definitely. The knock-on effects are going to be ugly because, again, it's not the raw. I opened up my economics book.
Bucks, $899.
$899 US.
$900, $949
somewhere in there.
In US.
$899, somewhere in there.
For us,
I would expect
for us as well.
And for us, will be 1,000. It won't be the same. Our dollar won't allow it. There's no way. We're always $100. You tack whatever the US is paying for a console, minimum, you tack $100 on top of it. So the PS5 Pro in 2026 is likely to be a $899 US or an $849 maybe, and then in Canada it will be a $949 to a $999 proposal. They might try to take some of the sting out of it by adding in a game or some shit to take some of the fucking sting out of it. But that's kind of where things are going, not just because of tariffs, but because of all of the domino effect of all this shit has everywhere. There are places that are currently scrambling right now, companies scrambling right now to relocate because they're trying to figure out where, or if they even want to relocate, because yes, we aren't in the US, but the two biggest economies on the planet that intertrade with everyone else are currently in a dick measuring contest. And unfortunately, just by virtue of having the dick measuring contest, there hasn't even been a winner or loser decided yet. We're just seeing two old fat men fondling themselves on stage to see who can get up the extra inch in public right now. Just by virtue of having that happen, it is wreaking havoc all over the place in ways that that I think we have to realize, especially after the pandemic happened, does not immediately and permanently get reflected in the stock market as the only measure of how the health of any general economy is. Because we're already losing buckets of jobs, but the market will keep fucking going up. It just doesn't, short of nuclear winter, that fucking line will keep it will drop for a day or two, and then a bunch of people with immeasurable amounts of money will buy a whole bunch into that dip, and then we saw it, how little it takes right now. Somebody fucking farted out the possibility of there being reconciliation tangentially like 3 weeks ago or whatever between the states. And I can't remember if it was the states in the UK or the states in China. And just the rumor, and it lasted less than like 18 or 20 hours. Just the rumor, the stock market fucking recuperated trillions of dollars. And then the White House came out and said, nope, Chuck Testa, that's not real information. Fake news. We haven't done any deals with anyone. And the stock market collectively went, fuck. And then it went right back down again. But at the end of the day, that bitch, while those dips, all those dips are job losses, companies deciding if they're going to change where they have their production or otherwise, layoffs, etc. And then when the market comes back up, those don't just magically reappear, but the stock price goes up anyway, because it's much speculation and not actual raw what the fuck is happening right now with an individual company. So that's why I think there's a good shot based on the knock-on effects throughout the economy, and not just I put a tariff maybe and then took it away and that's it. There's a good shot that we're looking at 20-25% on most electronic goods in 2026 as a knock-on to this. And as soon as that price goes up, it never comes back down again. It will be, that is the new floor, and you're just going to take it like a fucking champion, and you're going to like it, and that's it. But we'll wait and see how it all goes, how it all plays out. Right now, people were already having a hard time stomaching the price of a PS5 Pro. So if maybe Sony starts taking a fucking hit, maybe they're like, we can't go higher.
Adam, it's not going to $950 a console. It's just not doing it. US.
I think it's probably an $899 US situation in 2026. It's because we saw price increases just arbitrarily in the last calendar year on games like this. Keep in mind, we just I think it was like last year, late 2023, we just made the leap from $60 game AAA to 70. That just happened, and now we're already leaping from 70 to 80. It's the amount of movement, economically speaking, that seems to be required to push the base cost of AAA games up, doesn't seem to require what it used to. We sat at 60 through like two different economic crises, and the dollar amount stayed. But now it's like anything happens, $10 jump, another $10 jump. And so if I'm going to sit back and look at what's happened in the last 24 months and think that given what's happening right now, it's unlikely that it's not just going to maybe hop another few bucks on the hardware side, which is way more complex and way more countries involved for the manufacturing and assembly of these things for electronics, I would be very impressed if the consoles survive it, because you know you're going to see it in graphics cards and TVs and other electronics. So we'll have to wait and see how she all pans out. We'll check back in 2026 and see how that all goes down. Pal World versus Pokemon. That lawsuit is still happening, believe it or not. It's probably going to be happening for the rest of fucking time if they can afford it. But that whole thing with Pocket Pair, so having already patched out catching pals with spheres, because that was a problem. Pokemon was like, you can't do that. You can't throw a sphere at an animal. That's illegal. And so they said, all right, well, for now, as we are in the legal process, we're taking that out. You don't catch pals with spheres anymore. Unfortunately, that, amongst some other changes, was not enough. They are now having to make even more changes. And in the most recent patch, all of the gliding, so you're jumping off a mountain and you're gliding, up until now, there were pals that were flying pals that would glide your ass along. But now it's becoming, that's a problem. So now they're going to have to go to just gliders like you're playing Zelda. You're just using a regular glider. So they're slowly stripping out all of these things that Pokemon has while this court case is ongoing. I know that they've got to be frustrated because a lot of these patents that they're getting sued for were put in place in Japan by Nintendo and or the Pokemon Company after Pal World came out in the summer, just a couple months before they initiated the lawsuit. So they specifically paid to rush several patents through just so that they could sue Pocket Pair over things that were not previously patented, but because of the way that the Japanese intellectual property law works, that's kosher. And so now Pocket Pair is caught in this kind of quagmire of having to update their game and stripping these things out while they're in this lawsuit and kind of taking it on as best they can. I find that kind of like game mechanic ownership very interesting. It's a very interesting field. It's why we don't have the Nemesis system from that Lord of the Rings game from years back, Shadow of Mordor. Had this super dope Nemesis system. Everyone was like, this is fucking fire. More games need the Nemesis system. They are still sitting on that patent or that intellectual property rights, and they will not give it out to anyone, but they're also not using it themselves. So we had this like amazing mechanic that people were like, yes, please put that in more games. Nope. Can't be done. Personally, I don't think that should really be allowed. Like it's a fucking game mechanic. At least to the degree in which they are able to hold on to it for a long period of time. But we'll see how long this lasts out. Clearly, Pokemon has more money than Pocket Pair. Pocket Pair has lots of money as well, but how long are they going to drag that out before it's no longer worth it for them? Up to this point, they've been hanging in there, and most people have their back on it. But eventually, people are just going to get tired of the whole thing, and probably fuck off. We'll have to wait and see how it all comes down to it. In quick news, Twitch. It's been a while since we've talked about a Twitch update, Mr. Black. But we got one. They are testing a new stream display ad format that is probably the closest thing to what creators had hoped for quite some time now. So if you haven't seen, have you seen this yet, Mr. Black? Have you seen this pop up in your feed?
No, I didn't.
So they're testing this new thing with some creators. So it takes basically the ad and it places it off to the side of the main video feed and chat, and it starts muted. So it kind of shrinks everything up a bit, but it plays it in a side-by-side situation. And it starts muted. The viewer can unmute it if they want for whatever fucking reason. Otherwise, it just plays there and then it goes away, and that's the fucking show. So they're testing that format. That's certainly better than the ad taking up the whole fucking screen. It's a little bit bigger than them trying to just put the ad at the top of the chat, for example. It's better than a picture-in-picture. This is probably as good as you could hope to get. If this allows them to still sell ads at a reasonable clip, which they're already kind of bad at doing their ad fill anyway, then this is probably the best you could hope for. Like the idea that it just pops up on the side and it's playing there and it starts muted. What more could you ask for as a creator? If you're going to have ads, and you're going to, there is no two ways around it. Those ads are here. They are not going away. Twitch needs it to survive. Then this is probably the best thing. So we'll see if this sticks. They are still in testing mode. But how do you feel about that? Do you think that that's probably the best case scenario that we could hope for as streamers, or do you think that there's an even better solution that you've thought of over the years with this ad thing? Because ads on Twitch has been like a sticking point to various degrees for a long time, and we've talked about ad stuff here on the podcast with Twitch many times as well. So how are you feeling about this as a possibility, Mr. Black?
I mean, sure. I mean, I'm here for it. I mean, ads are just fucking AIDS on Twitch. But it's like one of these things that, like, dude, I barely played ads for like the last 2 months, and my ad revenue on Twitch was like it's not even enough to pay my fucking power bill. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm like streaming fucking 50 hours a week, almost like 45 hours a week.
What's it been like for you in the last year? Because I never run ads like ever, and I don't have a stream big enough to even look at the ad film.
I was making,
so like,
I mean, like during peak season, and like if I'm holding good viewership, like I can make $100-200 a day.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean that's like, anywhere's from.
But has that been like? Do you feel like that's been trending down in the last couple of years, or has it like leveled out?
It's been leveling out. I mean, at its peak, I mean, dude, I mean, if you have a ton of viewers, like there were days where I was making $500-700 a day in ads during peak season, but that's also with peak viewership. We're talking like, thousands and thousands of viewers, right? You get a good host or a good raid, or you're just hitting the right stride, just right place, right time. But like overall, like even like now it's a fraction of that. It's like it's not good, and it's diminishing returns because you quite literally have to run 5 to 6 minutes an hour in order to even get anything that resembles an hourly rate. So if you're not getting donations, or you're not getting subs, or you don't have sponsors, like just you cannot live off ad revenue. It just doesn't happen. Like it literally just doesn't happen. Like if you're a streamer, the ad revenue part is literally icing. It's not the main course. It's not even close. Now, if you have thousands and thousands of viewers and you're willing to spam ads, then yeah, it can be significant. There are streamers that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month, but they also are having tens of thousands of viewers. For people that have a few hundred viewers or even 1,000 viewers, you literally have to spam these ads, and when you spam the ads, you hurt your viewer retention. So like people are just like, no, fuck this, I'm gonna go somewhere else. So unless they have a turbo, which is good because you still get paid if they have turbo, so it's like good for both parties. But like you can't really spam ads. If they can make it a way that you can still spam your ads and it not be this egregious fucking in-your-face horrible experience, then I think it's a win for Twitch, and it's most certainly a win for the streamer, because then the streamer doesn't feel uncomfortable playing 6 minutes of ads or even 10 minutes of ads in an hour period, just like you would on a normal regular TV show that you watch on television. I know not a lot of people watch daytime TV anymore, but like when you take a look at daytime TV,
Similar.
right, you're getting like if it's an hour-long episode, it's really 40-minute episode, and it's 20 minutes of ads. That's just the way TV is. If you're watching a 30-minute episode of something, usually the episodes are actually 22 minutes of actual stuff, and 8 of it is ads. If Twitch wants to go down that route, that's fine, and they have been kind of forcing that route, but a lot of streamers just aren't playing the ads. That's why they have, on the back end, an ad incentive program where they entice you with a 55% split instead of a 35% split. Let me see. So I'm not talking up my ass.
I gotta be honest, I don't know because I just don't run ads on Twitch because I haven't had enough viewers since like 2017 to even think about running ads and making it make sense. Because like, again, you're making right now on a good day, like $200 in ads.
Oh, I'm not doing that anymore.
And maybe like $100?
Yeah. That's a good day.
A good day. So a good day is $100.
That's a good day.
I'm between 30 and 60 people on my stream these days. There ain't no fucking amount of ads that I can run that is doing me any fucking good. So I don't even keep up with like the ad fill rates or like what they're paying people anymore.
How this works is if you do the ad incentive program and you run 3 to 6 minutes of ads per hour, they make it so that you get a boost in ad rev share. So you go to 55%. If you don't, you get 30%. So essentially, in order, and I just boosted it back to I do 5 minutes of ads an hour. So now I'm getting a 55% spread. And even then, a good day for me, and that's somebody that's like hovering anywhere from 500 to 1,000 viewers. Like that's, I would say on average right now, it's about, we'll say 500 to 600 concurrent over an 8-hour period, right? A good day at 55% is $100 right now, but it's low season. It's low season. So in October, November, like that could be 200. It may double. And I mean, we're talking an 8 to a 10-hour stream at 5 minutes. It's not good.
No,
it's just not good. It's not good. And I know what some people are like, dude, $100 to play video games. Listen, I'm not complaining. Like, you know what I mean? And it's not the only source of revenue that I have. No, it's just, but
if you compare it to other platforms like YouTube, it is a bad
I mean, dude, even rate. On Kick, right? I'm in the Kick incentive program, right? Yeah. So, and when I stream, they pay me per hour, right? My maximum that I can make in 1 hour, I think if I hold around 1,000 concurrent viewers, they're paying me about 55 US an hour. So it's good. I mean, that's like, $80 or 75. That's great money. That's great money, but it's really hard to hold that type of concurrent viewership on Kick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're
it's hard to hold that anywhere.
Anywhere, right?
Anywhere.
Exactly. Exactly, right? So really you got to be pulling 3,000 to 5,000 concurrent viewers on Twitch to then get 1,000-ish concurrent viewers on Kick. Now, if you have 300-400 viewers on Kick, and I haven't done this in a while, I was still like in an 8-hour period or something, it was a few $100. So it was still pretty good. But that was before. They've made a lot of changes now. So if you want to do duo streams, if you want to stream on Kick and YouTube, they cut it in half. So instead of getting the full rate, like you can still make an hourly rate. Like I did it the other day and I made like $36 from 5 hours. Because if you're streaming on both, people are going to go on Twitch. The majority they're going to watch on Twitch. They're not going to watch on Kick. So you're just going to get the overflow. And even if you tell people, hey, can you just sit in the chat so I can make money? They still won't do it, right? A lot of them won't do it, right? It's very small percentage.
Creatures of habit. Yeah.
And it's fine. I mean, it is what it is. So like the ad, and Kick doesn't have ads. 0 ads. They're just paying you on sort of what Twitch would be paying you to run those ads. Now you can do it. And they offer a way better revenue split. Like I get a 70-30 sub split. Over there, it's 95-5. So really, you go over there, and if you get 100 subs there, you're pretty much making the full $500. Over on Twitch, you're not. You're getting 70%, and that's holding, like, that's because I have a decent subscriber base. if you don't even have that, it's a 50-50. Like you have to hold that for so many months to like qualify to keep getting that 70-30 split because they've just changed so much of their shit, right? So I don't know how I went on this tangent, but yes, please make it so that ads are better for the streamer and the streamer will play more ads. And that's what Twitch wants. Twitch wants us to blast everybody. Like if they could, they'd want you blasting 30 minutes an hour of ads. Yeah. The problem is they're so abrasive that like it's diminishing returns. Do I play this set of ads for 3 minutes to a viewership of a few hundred people and then 50 of them fuck off? And now you've lost, like, even if out of those 50 that left, if 2 of them subscribe in that day, you've made infinitely more money than what you would have made from them seeing a bullshit 3 minutes of ads. So it's this juggling act, right? And if you're an up-and-coming streamer and you're spamming 6 to 10 minutes of ads
ain't nobody watching that.
Ain't nobody staying. You're not going to grow. So, like, they have to figure out a way. And that's just the model that they've moved to because they don't make money.
It's, do you think, like, if this goes over well, do they do, like, is this like a foot in the door thing where once it's in place, eventually it will mute the stream and then unmute the ad when it starts playing, but you're still seeing the full size
I hope so.
stream window?
I hope
that's
so.
probably
yes.
That's probably it. Yeah.
Yes. Or like make it so that it's YouTube where you can skip the ads, right? Like, you can click the skip
after
button.
like 10 seconds or something.
After 10 seconds or something, right? Then it's like, people are like, okay, And even on YouTube, I have fucking YouTube Premium, which I actually think is the best subscription money can buy.
Oh, me too.
Like in the world. Like it's better than Netflix. It's better than HBO. It's better than Apple Music or whatever the fuck. It is that fucking $18 or whatever I spend is the best $18 I have ever spent on a subscription ever. I would delete all other subscriptions outside of Disney for my son before I would get rid of YouTube Premium. It's goated. It's goated.
Did you watch? I know this is not part of the next segment, but just because of what you mentioned there, you were talking about subscriptions. Did you watch any of the new season of Black Mirror?
No, none.
Okay, so there is spoiler alert for those who might have not seen it already, but whatever. It's been out for a hot minute now. Like the first episode, the premise is that there's a company that if that certain people are, depending on how they've passed away, there are certain, or if they've been in an accident or something, there are certain people that are eligible to use this service in which they basically take your brain and map all of that, your memories, your personality, and everything to the cloud. And then they implant or replace the damaged part of your brain, and then you are connected to the cloud with that, and essentially you go about your life living as you would normally. The downside is that at first this was a new, for the main character that was in this episode, it was a new service. So the service area was basically more or less, let's call it, it'd be the same as like you can stay in the HRM. If you go outside of that zone, you literally turn off like a switch and you're down, and then not until you drive back in do you come back around again. The premise of it eventually became, this is somebody's life and it's expensive. It costs a subscription. And the people that were doing it, the woman that was doing it was a teacher, and then the man was a welder, like a construction worker. And they were just, the bills were already a bit tight or whatever and whatnot. And, but as it goes through the episode, they splurge for the premium, the premium pass, right? Gets them, then now they can travel through the continental US, right? Instead of just the town. But then unfortunately, it's called the premium. But as it happens in real life, and this was like the whole exercise of this episode, was the company then made basically premium was like the new entry level, and then the ultra premium or whatever the fuck doesn't have ads. But here's the thing: you say ads, how the fuck does that work? The person goes unconscious and then says the ad out loud in context. So it's listening to whatever they're doing around them.
Oh,
and then it gives a contextual ad. They'll speak it out and deliver it like an ad read, and then they come back to, and they have no memory of doing it at all. And she didn't know it was happening at first, but she was in school teaching like elementary kids, and
just blasting off an ad.
This kid came in after class because like there was some trouble at home or whatever else, and she knew about this because she's been the teacher for a while, and they're having this little candid conversation, and an ad kicks in about family fucking therapy and shit like that.
Crazy.
And so the kid, of course, and the kid doesn't know, right? Because it's coming from her. So
he
the
doesn't know
kid
it's
goes
an ad.
home.
Just think it's the teacher just giving advice. And now he's oh wow. That's
so the
crazy.
kid goes home and talks about his parents. And of course, the parents call the score like, "What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah. What the fuck?" So she's defensive because she doesn't know what's fucking happening because she goes unconscious.
Yeah.
And it's only after talking with the administrator, and at the very end of the conversation, it happens again, but with the administrator, and they're in a room together by themselves, and this administrator's going on like 40 or something years old, and so there's an ad about like singles or whatever else for like 40-year-olds or some shit, and she does this in her, and again, even she doesn't realize it, so she's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? The fuck?"
Yeah.
And she comes back to it, she's like, What happened? So obviously they go back into the place and they're like, "Listen, what the fuck is happening right now? My wife is just randomly spouting off ads." And there's another piece, there's downtime too. So that when you sleep longer to rest. But as the premium got moved, she was sleeping longer still. So she was sleeping like 16 hours a day instead of like 10 at first. Yeah. So the days are getting shorter. The ads are coming in.
It's harder. Yeah.
He starts scrounging. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck?" And she's like, "Well, unfortunately, that's the new that's the new entry tier. But
you need the
great
ultra.
news.
You need the ultra.
We've got the new ultra premium tier that gets rid of all those ads. And wait, there's more. We give you the app on your phone that you can literally use dials to turn up or down emotions that you feel. So if you want to feel like you're basically just on cloud 9, you can just fucking crank that bitch." And how they're doing is because they're forcing everyone else that's attached to it that's on the lower tier sleep longer, so that the processing power goes to the rich people that had the fucking app turning up their shit. And there's like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
Bro. That's crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's wild.
But it's like,
that's wild.
And the show keeps going until, it's Black Mirror. I won't say the whole thing, but obviously it is not a happy ending because it's Black Mirror. Shit gets more and more dark as it goes on. But that concept is applied in like all these subscription services. We saw it with Netflix, where like the premium didn't have any ads. Then the premium became the base with ads. Then you had to go up to like the ultra premium. And so I say all of that to say I'm waiting for the day where my blessed, loved YouTube premium is no longer
you on that, bro.
premium.
I told you. I think I went on a rant on a podcast one time, like, "Adam, bro, you need to get this YouTube
I've been on it for
a
a hot minute now, and it has been
it's amazing.
Legendary.
Oh, dude, because when I'm like on my TV and I'm like putting something on or whatever on YouTube for Kai or whatever, and the ads show up, I'm like, "Ooh, you fuck." even just like on my mobile phone, you can't even fucking minimize the shit. Yeah. You know, as soon as I fucking go on another app, it just shuts off. I'm like, the fuck is this? This ancient shit? Take my money. Stop. Like, what the fuck? They just make the original experience so shit that like you have to just go and buy something. You have to get the upgrade, because if you don't, it's just an ass experience, man. That's where they get you.
It's just bullshit. It's the classic, you will own nothing and you'll be happy, and we're just along for the ride. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And what do we got? All right, so Expedition 33, a game that I'm currently playing right now, my most anticipated game in the last like 5+ years. Fire.
It looks
You're going to want to play this at some point.
It looks fucking fire.
It's fucking fire, dude. The acting, incredible.
Don't spoil
the music,
because I might actually play this game.
And you know what? It's a JRPG, but it's like, unless you're doing everything, which you might want to because the game's dope, it's like it's a tighter, like a 40-hour main quest. So you can make it 70 or something if you're going off and doing your thing, but like you can do this in a nice little tight kind of 40-hour package. But the writing, dope. Voice acting, I mean, you've seen who's in this shit. Andy Serkis is in it, for fuck's sake. Everyone is in this shit. Music, fire. And you know what the funniest thing is? The writer for this had never published anything before.
Damn.
Nothing. The music, most of it, SoundCloud person. They found them on SoundCloud.
Damn.
And they're smashing it. They're smashing it so hard that despite the fact that this is a very French JRPG, which I jokingly sometimes call an FRPG, is selling or has sold in the first 12 days 2 million copies. Now, to sell 2 million copies as that your first game as a studio you've ever made.
Oh, yeah. It's huge. It's a hit.
Everyone is a junior except for 3 ex-Ubisoft employees who are also barely senior level people. And you make that and you sell that many copies, and now it's projected to do somewhere between 7 and 10 million copies. And they didn't even chart. And this is the perfect kind of antidote to the current market. It is a small team that found a publisher that had faith in them and did not stick their hands in the cookie jar. They said, we like how you're cooking. Cook some shit. Make it happen. And they cooked.
I smell that.
And they cooked fucking so good. And they're selling like hotcakes. But they aren't even selling it for full price. It's $40 US. It's not even a full price game. And it whoops the fucking ass off of all these other AAA fucking games that are out right now. I can't say enough about it. I definitely, you should play it. It's Game of the Year. Grand Theft Auto 6 got delayed, so it's 100% Game of the Year now.
Oh, yeah.
There ain't no fucking way.
Yeah.
Death Stranding 2 is coming out. That will be like its main contender. It'll be between those two, but I think this game is more digestible by more people and more relatable in ways like, you know, Death Stranding 2 is going to be good, but it's a Kojima game where he like drops acid and then just does the craziest shit. And maybe you get it, maybe you don't.
He's already won shit. You know what I mean? Like, let the underdogs take something. They deserve it.
It's the underdog. You know what I mean? The whole story is perfect. They're not charging too much. They're knocking it out of the park. And so definitely give it a shot and play it if you get a chance and spend some time with it. But it sold 2 million. It's projected to do 7 to 10 million, which is fantastic. It's done well enough that they're making a movie already. Somebody immediately looked at it, saw the script for the game and said and heard the music and said movie immediately. The people that are spearheading it from production are the guys that did Sonic, which is great news because they've already taken a video game and done magic with it. So the search is on for a director and casting right now, but we're getting a movie for Clair Obscur Expedition 33. And when you play this game, I think you'll agree a movie could go very, very fucking hard in the paint if they get the right people. And if they already have this kind of voice talent, I have to assume that actual actors seeing this will likely be interested in putting their name on it. As soon as you have somebody like Andy on board, you have to imagine other people are likely going to be like, okay, I can risk putting my name on this. There's definitely some promise here. So I look forward to seeing how that develops as well. Oddly enough, the one region you would think that this would maybe do really well in, it's doing the worst. Now, we don't have digital sales yet. We just have physical.
What, France?
No. Well, yeah. No, France is selling very, very, very well. Japan. Okay. This is a JRPG at heart.
Salty right now,
and it
bro.
is the
They're
most
going,
JRPG except for the French.
Yeah,
I think they're salty.
We do. I don't want to buy this. The fuck. Yeah.
The French, they came after our one thing. Oh. But yeah, it's only sold like 90,000 copies or something physically in Japan. We don't know what digital is, but yeah, it was just funny to me. This is the closest thing to a true, I mean, this is like Legend of Dragoon, Lost Odyssey, hybrid combat kind of a situation. Fire.
Dope.
Fire.
Yeah, dope.
Square Enix can suck my fucking dick. Because now we've got these guys, and if they can keep making games like that, I'm going to be there every single time. Last thing on the list, roller coaster week for what's left of Giant Bomb. After announcing what appeared to be the selling off and dissolution of the company and the website, like a week afterwards, they announced that Dan Reichert, who's a longtime member of Giant Bomb crew and very well respected, and I think one or two others, they managed to actually just buy the site from them. So they're wholly independent now. Just like they were more or less back in the Whiskey Media days when they first launched in 2008, they are more or less completely independent again. And they already had a subscription service. It's just now it's going straight into their pockets instead of going through fandom or whoever just owned them and then getting paid out. They've got a lot ahead of them though. There's 5 people remaining at Giant Bomb, like in terms of like creators and writers. That's a lot of people to pay. 5 people's a lot of people. And Giant Bomb is like the largest game wiki on the internet. And it has an unimaginable amount of video content. And as everyone knows or should know by now, video content is super fucking expensive. Not just to store, but anytime people are watching that shit and streaming it off your website and whatnot, the bandwidth cost is substantial. So they have their work cut out for them. If anyone can do it, it's probably them. But it's better than the website, completely going away anyway. And I look forward to seeing what they can manage to do with it now that they're out from underneath the thumb of fandom or whatever the fuck it's called. Is one of like 2 companies buying up every website and just milking them for shit until they die, and then they close the company out and they won't sell it to anyone. So this is a really rare. In fact, Jeff Gerstmann on his last podcast, because he was a founder of Giant Bomb, mentioned when they were originally selling Giant Bomb off again. He was like, would you guys let me buy this off of you guys? This is when CBS, I think the parent company for CBS owned them. And they were like, no chance. We're not selling it if we don't sell it to like some other major company, we're not selling it to anyone else. And the idea is that they're always worried that somebody that's just like a couple of people will handle it better than them. And so they never sell ever. They just put you in a portfolio in the back of the room and sit on it forever. So it was really interesting that they managed to actually get the Giant Bomb name and site off of them. The only website I'm aware of that has happened with so far. And so we'll have to wait, and I wish them all the best and good luck with them. I don't really consume their content much these days because most of the people that I associate with them are not there anymore. But the people that are there are still some of the best video game writers and creators in the space. And so I wish them all the best with that. And now, Mr. Black, it's time for you to sell out for us just a little bit.
Patreon.com/lagtv. Head on over there. Throw some money at the screen if you guys want to support us directly. You can also check out our sponsor, NordVPN. It's a great time to go pick that up. You get a 2-year subscription when you use our link, plus 4 extra months on top of that, which brings down your monthly average to less than half a cup of coffee a month at Starbucks. That's including tariffs and everything else. So you're still good. It's super affordable. Everybody should have NordVPN or a VPN in general, and it ought to be NordVPN. Guys, you can have up to 10 simultaneous devices. You can use it on virtually any device. We're talking your Android, your iPhone, your Mac, your PC, laptop, iPad. You can hook it directly up to your router as well, so that all your devices are masked under one IP. Guys, stay safe, stay anonymous on the internet. You can watch different regions of Netflix and other streaming services at the click of a button. So, for example, if you are watching shows on US Netflix and you've consumed all the content that interests you, you can mask your IP to another region, which would have different licensing, which basically makes it seem like you've traveled there and you're there, and now you can watch the content that is for that region. So it's a great way to do that as well. Plus, have anonymity on the internet. You don't want your ISP provider to know what you're downloading, where you're at. It's none of their business, to be honest. It's your business what you do on the internet. So, have some anonymity, especially when you're out there in public and you're using public Wi-Fi and stuff like that. It can be dangerous out there. People are out there to steal your information. And you can negate that stuff by using NordVPN. Plus, they have all kinds of other products and things like that. But for sure, go check them out. Use our link. Get that big discount. It's a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you don't like it for any reason, within 30 days, get your money back. And yeah, like I said before, 10 simultaneous devices. It's super easy to use, literally the click of a button. I use my NordVPN almost daily. I'd say like 5 days a week. I'm on that. I have that hooked up to my smart TV. I've got it on my phone. I've got it on virtually everything, especially when I'm traveling. Even if I'm at Walmart, you know I'm going on NordVPN before I connect any of their Wi-Fi. It's just what I'm doing, guys. I'm just
That's
on top
sketchy
of it.
Walmart Wi-Fi. You don't want any part of that.
Same, I don't want no part of that. Same with at the airports. Same with at Starbucks. Same with I don't use it when I'm at Adam's house, even though I'm not at Adam's house very often. I trust his internet, but
Yes.
but yeah, I mean, outside of that, man, I'm using my NordVPN for virtually everything, and it's less than half a cup of coffee a month. So go check them out. It's a great way to support us, yourself, and the sponsor all at once. Huge shout out to NordVPN.
Yes, sir. Speaking of you coming out, now that it's not the end of the summer, we'll have more time. We got to get you up for the barbecue. We got to get the barbecue going, bro. We never got a chance to christen it last time because
that's right.
Everything went down. We never got a chance to actually christen the barbecue. So we're going to have to christen the barbecue this year.
We'll definitely
make the magic happen.
Yes, sir.
Especially now that we actually have most of the stuff in the backyard done and furniture, which is helpful. Now it's time for
movies and TV.
Very brief, which it has been for what feels like forever. There's been very little anything happening in movies for an eternity. What feels like an eternity, but Marvel 1943, Rise of Hydra, delayed until 2026. And the crowd went mild. Woo!
Wee!
Wee! Spider-Man, Spider-Noir got a teaser trailer. I tried to watch that before we went live, and I just never got a chance to catch it. Have you seen the trailer for that yet?
No, I didn't.
That's the one with Nick Cage, though, right? Because he's wanted to play that one for a long time. It's probably going to be pretty good. It's probably going to be pretty fun. Nick Cage has been doing some fun movies as of late, so I imagine it'll probably be good. I'm not even a Spider-Man fan, but it's Nick Cage, which means by default, I'm going to have to watch it. I don't have a choice. I have to be committed. The only one I haven't watched recently of Nick Cage was Renfield. I have yet to commit myself to Renfield. Otherwise,
I can't do it, bro. It looks like ass, bro. I can't.
It does. That's my problem. Is that even and that's saying something because Nick Cage has done some movies.
It's not my cup of tea, bro. It's not my cup of tea.
No.
Yeah.
It doesn't look bad enough to be funny. That's my problem. Like it doesn't look bad, but it also doesn't look good, and it's not bad enough to be funny. So it's in that hellscape middle ground that nobody ever wants to be caught in, and I couldn't commit myself to it. There's more. Actually, speaking of Nick Cage, there is more Nick Cage coming. He's playing. They released the first pictures of him dressed up as, but he's doing the John Madden movie, and he legit looks like John Madden. If you look it up, I swear to fuck, they got him looking like John fucking Madden. Nick Cage bringing out his best John Madden impersonation, which is going to be fucking incredible, I'm sure. See,
he needs to gain some more weight, though, bro.
Well, it depends on what era of John Madden, I guess, we're talking about.
I suppose.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I do actually see a picture of him big.
Yeah,
as well,
yeah.
So maybe it's like several.
A little bit of both. Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, it's not bad. Makeup department doing some work on that. If you sat down and said, "Hey, who should play John Madden?" I don't think I'd ever have come to the conclusion that Nicolas Cage is the one for John Madden. But at the same time, now that I see it, yeah, and that's why casting people have a job. That's
Well,
that's
it's
why
also
they're in
why
business.
some casting people don't have a job. So we'll see.
Very
how this
true.
goes.
100%. 100% accurate. Other than that, not much to talk about there. I don't think that Em and I have really even watched much other than that one Black Mirror episode, which was so depressing I couldn't bring myself to watching any more Black Mirror episodes.
Bro, that's why I stopped watching Black Mirror. I watched like the first season, I think, and then maybe a couple of other episodes. And
it's kind of fire, but it's so depressing.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, it's great. Like make you think TV.
Yes.
Like it's good. It's good stuff. It's quality. It's the actors, actresses, everything. Like but it's heavy. And at the end of the day, bro, I just want to watch trash. That's really what I want to watch. If I'm gonna watch some heavy stuff, I'd rather it be like a good movie or something. I'm in the mood for it.
Yeah.
But like, it's the TV show where like almost every episode is like, you know what? All the things that you love in this world, we're gonna go to the extremes and make you second guess everything. And like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, I don't know. So we've only been watching shitty reality. We watched this new Netflix show called Cheat.
I saw the clip for it and looked at me and just immediately said, no.
Now you can skip. You can skip that one. Temptation Island, though, you still need to watch.
I need to find a way to watch it. Yeah, I need to find a way to watch it.
You have to watch Temptation Island. You can skip Cheat.
What season is Temptation Island? Yeah, I saw that. I saw it scrolling.
It's the first season for the Netflix one. So it's like a whole new, and they do things differently than like the other Temptation Island. So it's you know, yeah, it's good. I like what they did, and there'll definitely be another season for sure. Shit was fire. So you should go watch. You guys should definitely watch that. Way better than Love Is Blind. The last like couple seasons, way better.
Last season of Love Is Blind, we checked out. We only got like 3 episodes in, and we just couldn't even.
It was bad. Don't even watch it.
That was bad.
Yeah.
That's pretty much it. I watched. We did watch. It's not new, but it's new-ish. What's it called? Wolves. That's the Brad Pitt and George Clooney.
Oh yes. Yes.
You know, they're both fixers, and they end up being put on the same job. Watch that. That was fun. And like I said to Em, she was like, "Really, we're gonna watch this?" I was like, "Listen, George Clooney and Brad Pitt have ridiculously good bro chemistry that not very many people have in movies, and most directors know it. So when they put them on the screen, they don't really overly direct them. They clearly just go out there and say, okay, Brad Pitt, be Brad Pitt, and George, do your best to play George Clooney. And then they just go and do that, and it almost always works. It's what worked with Ocean's 11 and 12, and subsequently like 13, technically. And it's very similar. So like, if you like the vibe of Ocean's 11 between, you know, Clooney and Pitt's character, it's, if those guys stopped robbing, you know, casinos and then started being fixers, it's basically, that's what you're getting. And so it's a fun time.
I will say I've seen 2 movies in the theater since you were gone.
Oh, okay. What did we pay for?
Well, I went and saw the Thunderbolts, right? That's
right. You Marvel. 7 out of 10 that or whatever. I think
7 or 7.5 is what I gave it. Fine. It's fine. But the movie that got a 9.5 out of 10.
Oh wait, what's it called? Sinners, right? Yes, Sinners. Yes.
Sinners is fire.
What's your comp? What's your comp? Like, what's the comparison for Sinners? Like, what is it? If some,
it's a black from dusk till dawn. That's literally it. It's literally from dusk till dawn. Ryan.
No wonder you liked it so much.
Oh, bro. I mean, dude, everybody loves it, dude. That movie's making so much goddamn money.
Oh, I've seen it. Like, it's made buckets of money.
It's gonna be a trilogy. It's gonna be its own fucking huge franchise. Vampires and fucking the music is incredible. Like, the music is insanely good. Like,
okay, elevator pitch me Sinners.
Black from dusk till dawn.
Okay, yeah.
With incredible music. That's
okay.
Pretty much it.
Fair enough.
It's in a time of, like, you know, there isn't like slavery. It's not that far back, but it's like not too long after. It's still very segregated. Still very. There's still,
has Martin Luther walked yet?
I don't think so. No.
Okay. No. So we're pre-Martin. No. We're pre-Martin.
Yes.
We're post-slave. Yes. We're post-slavery in quotation marks, but we are pre-Martin.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I don't even know what year. Let me see what year. Let me see. Sinners. What would I put? Sinners. What year was it based? 1932.
Okay.
So yeah. No Martin.
So this is like the Great Depression is.
Yes, it's in Mississippi, 1932. So there's like plantations and there's very clear racism and segregation and you know, it's still a point though where like blacks and whites are, you know, they're commingling, but there's
still some
fuckery,
fountains.
You know, there's still some
fountains that are white only. That's what you're saying.
Yes, it's yeah, pretty much, you know, them granola bars. Hey, you know,
the gentrified granola bars.
Granola bars, they're still a thing. But dude, Michael B. Jordan is fire. Ryan Coogler, I mean, they always make good movies together. Michael B. Jordan plays like two characters. He plays twin brothers, and they're
so it's one of those movies where an actor gets to play twins or something. Okay.
Yeah, he gets to play, and they're similar enough that you know they're brothers, but they have very different personalities. But it's not so much that it's like one guy's fucking crazy and the other dude isn't, but they have different quirks. And
it's subtle but noticeable.
It's correct. It's very well done, dude. The cinematography is filmed for IMAX. Fucking looks insane. The music is... I'm gonna go out and say
do you know who did the music?
I have no idea. It's like, and the music is very black, bro. It's like very like blues, like almost even like slavery type stuff. And then there's I don't want to spoil anything, but they go through all the genre, all the years and decades of music, all the way up into like 2025, you know what I mean?
Okay.
All the way down to the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s. It's all in there. And there's one big scene in particular where they mash everything together, dude. It is a cinematic masterpiece, and it's deep. Like it's such a good watch. It's so, and then it's action packed. It's vampires. It's got horror elements to it, but it's not really. I wouldn't consider it like a full-blown horror movie, but it's got those undertones. And just like From Dusk Till Dawn, it's two different movies. You're watching, like, if you didn't know you were going into a vampire movie, you would be like, just like in From Dusk Till Dawn, be like, what the fuck? This went from like a heist type thing.
The bar scene flips everything on its head.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's very similar. It's very similar to that. It's different,
right?
But it's super similar. If Ryan Coogler said that like From Dusk Till Dawn is my favorite movie of all time, like if I was Ryan Coogler, this is the movie I would have made. You know, obviously not as good, and it's like super intelligent. But man, dude, the cast is incredible. Haley Steinfeld is in it, and
I thought because it just sounded, it sounded so much like it. I thought this was a Jordan Peele gig at first because it sounded so much like a Jordan Peele gig.
Yeah, no, this is better. This is better than any movie Jordan Peele's ever made.
Damn, because he makes some pretty good movies.
Oh yeah, he made some fire. And don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to shit on Jordan Peele. I go and watch everything he does. I love his movies. But this is something special. This is something real special, dude. Dude, it had like a 3. What did it have from week 1 to week 2? It set a record for like Sinners week.
Like independent. 1, 2, it isn't like this is technically an independent film.
No. It's a big movie. It made a ton of fucking money. But it from what I'm saying is from like week.
Oh, it's a record for like original film or something.
The lowest drop. No, it had a 6% second weekend drop.
Okay, so it didn't move anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 6%.
Word of mouth moved quick from one week to the next.
And that never happened. It set a record. Like it's never in the history of cinema has something like with this genre has ever happened. As it's really good. Like it's a good movie. Is it a movie you have to go out and see in theater? I don't think so.
I'll definitely watch it at home for sure, but it's yeah.
But like if you wanted to go for a movie night, out of anything that's in the theater right now, if you can watch it in IMAX, it's fucking insane. Like IMAX, it's so good. It's so good. But if you're not gonna go and see it in IMAX, then watch it at home. I think you would enjoy it. I think Em would enjoy it too. If she's into
I'll definitely watch it.
Okay with some horror.
She's a horror film person. She likes her horror. Yeah. She's probably a serial killer as far as I know. She watches like nothing but horror movies and and murder mystery type shit. That's like her whole shtick.
No.
Like
I don't watch any of that shit.
She'll watch everything. Like anything. Every good horror, bad horror, doesn't matter. She'll watch all of it. Gore or otherwise doesn't matter. Yeah, that's her thing. So that won't be a turn off for her at all. She'll definitely she'll definitely be down for that, I'm sure. And I'll definitely be able to convince her because I'm sure she will have heard of it from
you'll like
friends,
it, bro.
friends of hers.
You'll like the movie. You're gonna enjoy this one. This is a good movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna see
it
it
sounds
again
fire.
when it's on digital. Because Kayla didn't see it, I'm gonna force her. I'm gonna say, all right, we gotta watch this. You're gonna like this movie. It's good.
Is there anything coming out soon that's even remotely interesting?
Superman's coming, and
okay, right, yeah, okay.
What else is coming out? Mission Impossible.
When's Fantastic
Mission
Four? Is that not
Impossible.
until like deep summer?
I think that's in July. I want to say it's July. So yeah, but
how are you feeling? The
super...
Superman and Fantastic Four both seem to be going like into like the '60s vibe, like older. Unless I'm misremembering
no,
what
Superman's not 60s.
No, Superman is modern.
Superman
okay, I'm misremembering
modern.
it.
The Fantastic Four is
for sure
like old, like
the Jetsons.
It's like a correct.
Yeah.
So yeah, July for Fantastic Four. I'm gonna see both of them. I'm not.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so superhero fatigued. Like at this
true.
point, I just, but I'm gonna go see it.
Do you think that this is the Fantastic Four that finally doesn't suck? Do you like, because this is, how many Fantastic Fours do we have? Is this the fourth?
A lot. It might be. It's a lot.
None of them have been
honest,
good.
I'm not a huge fan of the characters. I'm not a huge Fantastic Four person.
Neither am I.
For me, it's whatever. Superman, on the other hand, like, it's James Gunn. I Henry Cavill's my Superman. You know what I mean? Like, I would have preferred to have another Man of Steel. It's criminally underrated, but at the same time, they needed a fresh start. James Gunn, he's fucking great. We'll see what happens. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going there optimistic that it's going to be good. And we'll see. But again, I'm pretty much superhero fucking fatigued out. I need more movies like Sinners. I need more of those. Not necessarily because it's like a black film, but just like something that is like original-ish, fucking, not a part 7 Mission Impossible 22-65 watch Tom Cruise.
Speaking
like,
of,
I'm gonna go see it.
Doesn't the last one of that like come out here this summer?
Soon. Yeah,
okay,
it's coming out like soon. I think some people have already seen it.
You know what? As much as Tom Cruise fucking creeps me out, that motherfucker knows how to make a movie, and I'm gonna be sad when he's done. I'm gonna be sad when he hangs up the boots.
I mean, dude, the whole movie industry is gonna mourn him not being on the big screen. Like, just straight up, it ain't gonna feel the same knowing that Tom Cruise ain't gonna have a movie coming out, once every other year or so. It's just gonna be weird. It's gonna be the same thing like with Denzel. Like, when Denzel just hangs it up, we're gonna be like, dude, what the fuck? We gotta handle 30 more years of Chris Pratt and fucking what's his face there that's in fucking everything now. I mean, I like him. The fucking Last of Us dude.
Guys,
Nicolas Cage's
oh my god. Pedro Pascal.
Pedro Pascal. I mean, dude, I fucks with Pedro Pascal, but I'm getting Pedro'd the fuck out. This is too much Pedro. Too much of the same dudes getting fucking put in every goddamn movie. It's fucking brutal.
I'm just noticing that Patreon did not post, unless I put it accidentally on. What the fuck? It did not post that, or the app is just fucked. Did not post the text board. Oh, no, wait, there it is. Never mind.
It did. It's right there. I see it.
No, I see it. It didn't show up. I had to refresh my app like 3 times for it to show up. And it says no comments yet. Thank you, Patreon.
It says 6 for me.
Yeah, I can see them, but like it says no comments.
Oh, okay.
Now we got it. Speaking of which, it's time for
tech support.
Patreon.com/LikeTV is the place to go if you want to financially support the podcast. And, of course, as another outlet for StarCraft 2 support. It's just kind of a catch-all if you want to help us.
Just so you know, I got to dip here in about 20 minutes, so...
We'll get it done.
Yeah, okay.
We'll get the magic done. Yeah, $5 or more a month gets you a couple perks. Chiefly, you can ask us questions on a post I put up before the podcast when we do it. It's called Tech Support, and you ask questions on that post, and we give you the answers in the time that we have, which today is about 15 to 20 minutes. Let's see what we got this week. Roran says, welcome back, Adam. Thank you, Roran. What is one song that never fails to put you in a good mood? Bonus, one song that makes you skip the song.
Oh, I mean, dude, that's any song on the radio right now I skip. They're all
there's not a lot. There's not a lot of great music on the radio right now.
I mean,
it's pretty rough.
The song that just puts me in a good fucking mood every time. I mean, dude, you throw on any NSYNC, any Backstreet Boys.
True.
You know, it takes me back, bro. Like immediately. Michael Jackson. You know, you throw on, you give me, you throw. There's like just certain artists that when I hear their music, it just puts me in a good mood. So I can't really give you a specific song. I mean, I could, bye, fucking.
It's gonna be Backstreet's Back for me. Life. I think Backstreet's Back. I hear that shit pop.
Yeah. Thriller.
Yeah.
Human Nature. Fucking Smooth Criminal. Billie Jean. I mean, dude, any of these songs, it just put me in a good mood.
I'm trying to think if there's anything even remote. You know, I'll say this is more recent.
Barbie
Still
Girl.
Old. It's old as hell now. Yeah, Aqua songs. Old songs now, but like the Timbaland era, like the
fire.
Way I Are,
I was
and
actually
all that
listening
shit.
To some Timbaland yesterday. It's crazy you said that because I was listening. Something came up on a short, and it was like Timbaland in the studio with Jay-Z, like cooking up. And I'm like, dude, I need to go listen to some Timbaland. I went on YouTube, bro. I went on like a fucking 30-minute Timbaland. I was like, damn,
dude, Timbaland needs to. We need another era of Timbaland collabs with everyone to bring it back. Because he was in that pocket. He was doing beats for everyone, and all of them were fire. Every single one of them was fire. So most of the Timbaland stuff, the Backstreet's Back gets me fucking hyped.
Give me the Goofy movie. Stand Out, bro.
Yeah, Stand Out.
Every time that shit plays, I'm just in a good mood.
Which is convenient because you've watched that film 755,000 times.
30-year anniversary
still hasn't gotten old.
Is
it really?
Has happened, and I think they're doing like a new release of it or something. I'm not sure.
Oh fuck. Okay, coming out of the Disney vault before it goes away forever, as they like to say. Sour Apple asks if wait, okay, this is written oddly, so hold on, let me read it here. This question doesn't even make sense, Sour Apple. I'm going to ask you to try again next week with English. He said, just so that everyone's on the same page, if I'm going to read this exactly how it is, okay? If swap SC2 caster with Brood War caster, which race will be the most broken?
Okay, yeah. Try again next week, sir.
Try again. Pick your boots up. Try again. Yano says, so my girlfriend is obsessed with Disney World attractions. My condolences. Any of you ever went? Do you think I should cave and accept a trip there? I don't really enjoy extreme roller coasters. If you have any respect for your own bank account, you will never set foot in a Disneyland fucking park or Disney World. That shit is the most expensive, insane thing ever.
I'm gonna do it, but I'm not gonna do it until my son is probably 8 or 9 years old, and I'm gonna do it one time. Because as a kid, I always wanted to go. My family could never afford to. We've never went on a real family vacation on an airplane or anything like that. And Kayla's obviously never been there. I haven't been there. My son, he really wants to go to Legoland, which I was considering going to this year because they have one in New York. But again, with the way the dollar is and everything, I'm like, listen, I'd rather just wait just a couple more years. He's 6, just a couple more years, because I want him to have some core memories of it. I don't want him to be too young that, like, he just vaguely remembers being
7
there.
or 8 is probably like the sweet spot for that.
Yeah. And then go there, and when I go, I'm just saying, Jesus, take the wheel. And I'm just allowing them and myself to do whatever we want, buy whatever we want, spend as much as we want, and I'm not worried about anything until I come back and I see the credit card just absolutely wrecked and then never doing it again. It's just going to be a one and done. I'm going to do it right. I'm just going to say, hey, you want to stay on Disney? You want to just stay there? Fucking Airbnb. You want to just go there? Hey, which park do you want to live at? Yeah? Oh, you want that $400 fucking lightsaber that's going to never be used? Buy it. You know what? Do it all, because I'm never doing it again. I'm never doing it again. It's a one and done deal. So that's what I'm going to do. 2 more years. I can remortgage the house in order to do it.
Yeah, I can safely say I will never step foot in a Disney park ever. It is because the problem is that you do need to spend an insane amount of money so that you can even experience enough stuff when being there the one time to make it make sense. Otherwise, you're spending even more money going back multiple times to see like 3 rides in a 1-day fucking period because the lineups are like fucking 700 miles long.
Bro, it's a 10-day, it's a 7 to 10 day full blown, take your time, get all the speed passes, fucking all the meal tickets.
You're fixing to spend 30 grand on a week.
Probably minimal 20. It'll be like, cause I almost did it in 2018 with Kayla. Like we almost did it. And just for the 2 of us to go, it was $8,000 for 2 people to do Disney and Universal. And it was a 7-day trip. Boom. We said, no, you know what? Let's just go to a really nice all-inclusive place in Punta Cana. So we went to the fucking Hard Rock. I spent $5 grand and we had everything included. The 5-star this, that included spa shit, excursions, all you can drink, all you can eat. You ain't gotta, you know, all the services that you want, done. Saved us like $3,000+. And that ain't even, dude, I ain't even taking account of when we actually go to Florida, the amount of money that you'll spend just being there. Like we're just talking the Disney Universal shit. Like, nah. It's
crazy
insane.
work.
And it's nuts. It is crazy work. Nah.
Let's see. Volkus says, I've been rewatching some of my favorite casts. I've noticed some of the funnier names that still make me laugh, like Mike Hunt, Dildo. Well, you can't even say that one on YouTube at this point. What are some names you guys remember that were or are funny? Honestly, Mike Hunt is the one that stands out.
Mike Hunt is my favorite, I think. Yeah.
Like there have been many, but that's the one that stands out. It's the easiest to remember. It's classic. We did the Mike Hunt cast where it was just stupid jokes for like 10 minutes straight. That's got to be the one. I mean, there's been many.
We had a couple of good names today, right? We had what was it? Jesus Christ.
Jesus Christ. Like last week we had something to do with China. What was it?
Oh, the fucking Made in China.
Made in China. That was also great. Yeah. So yeah, there's still some good names pop up now and then, but Mike Hunt is like that's the
Mike
goat.
It's goated. It's
the coded name. It's coming in from your favorite user, Mr. Black, pulsating, ripe, developing titties. Ask the question.
I regret saying that. Just like fucking 14 years later, I'm like, bro, like
there's a novelty account paying us money on Patreon because of that one saying that you did fucking years ago. Question for both of you. Top 3 things to do when visiting Barcelona. I haven't been, Jeff has, but if I went to Barcelona, basically the only thing I'd give a fuck about other than eating lots and lots of fucking amazing tapas is just going to the Basilica Familia. That's it. That's like the Sagrada Familia. It's the largest fucking cathedral in the world. It's constantly under construction because they're trying to keep it from falling over. Yep. It's crazy. That's the one.
I did do that. I didn't go in it, but I did a helicopter tour around it. So we had the whole bird's eye view of it. And the beach there in Barcelona was incredible. Just it went for fucking ever. It was almost, I've never seen a beach go that long in
just
my
forever
life.
and ever.
And it was such a wide beach. It felt like you could have put a Ford F-150 truck from one side and stacked 20 of them right up in front of each other the whole fucking way. It's like, whoa, just white sand beaches. They had some brown sand beaches too. Yeah, man, it was something. It was something. I mean, I'm so that was when I was with the Party Poker, man. They fucking hooked up, bro. They had me up in the Ritz-Carlton. I was staying in the hotel with fucking Jason Momoa was in her fucking hotel coming in and out. But the shit was right on fucking Barcelona Beach. I ate at such amazing restaurants and stuff, dude. They balled out. I mean, I would never have done something like that on my own, but man, I soaked it up, dude. It was amazing. The amount of food and like in healthy food that they had there, the fruits, the everything. I loved it. I didn't get to do a whole lot of sightseeing and going like too deep into you know, because I had an itinerary and stuff. Like I had things that I had to like be there for and do. But we did do some fun. We went on a catamaran for like half a day. Went down across the coast and went to where all the mansions are, dude. They have like fucking $50-100 million like fucking huge mansions that I guess like the uber rich have there in Barcelona. It was just great. It was just amazing. And the weather, I mean, it
crazy.
Don't get much better.
That's good.
Yeah, it was amazing.
It does get too hot in the summer for sure. Like the summer there gets like screeching fucking hot to the point where everyone just stays inside for periods of the day. But you get there at the sweet spots, then yeah, I mean the weather is fucking incredible. Last one comes in from Zonix. Canadian in Japan right now. Outside of sushi, what would you like to do here? I want to be there for cherry blossoms one time in my life. If all of the fucking like obese British women stop fucking ruining everything in Japan, or stupid fucking YouTube content creators stop doing pull-ups off of cherry trees, that would be great. Then I'll still be allowed to enter the country, which would be awesome. So you know that's like, but really it's that. It's sushi, cherry blossoms, you know, going outside of the main cities to see, you know, just more rural areas would be cool, temples and things like that. And then, you know, yeah, you know, seeing some city stuff, because it's a, you know, Tokyo is a wild place. It is a very unique and beautiful in its own way city that I'd like to see. But it's really, I mean, let's keep it buck. It's
sushi, man.
For me, it's sushi and fucking
sushi.
Cherry trees. It's funny, I think we mentioned this before, but there is a thing that in which the idea is that the best sushi isn't even in Japan anymore, because all of the best sushi chefs have moved out of Japan to go get paid better somewhere else.
The money. Yeah, make all the monies. Yeah. No, it makes sense. But I mean, there's just be something about being in Japan, eating amazing sushi.
Yeah,
that just is gonna hit different than eating amazing sushi in Las Vegas. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, yeah, you know, it's just there's something culturally, like the experience of it is. It would be something. So yeah, I'd love to do that. The sightseeing, I'd love to go into like, you know, a lot of like the samurai type temples and shit like that. Like to really feel the culture and stuff. It'd be amazing. I would love to go and buy some Dragon Ball Z related things. Like I'd come back with a suitcase filled of memorabilia for Dragon Ball Z, straight out of Japan. Yeah, and I believe, man, one day I will go. I really think that it is a bucket list type place that I would love to travel to and experience. It's just one of those places. So, one day.
Yeah, unfortunately, the original like Sega store shut down here in the last year, and the Akihabara district, which is where most of like the video game kind of like the old. When you used to go to like buy old games and you needed to find anything, it was all in Akihabara, but it's not quite what it used to be anymore. But I'd still like to go and see those spots. A Japanese tea ceremony would be pretty dope to actually like go through and experience that, like in location and done properly would be kind of awesome. Because I did the Japanese culture class in university as one of my electives, and my teacher went there. Similarly, he went there to learn Japanese tea ceremony, and then was also a translator at the time, and then ended up staying there for like 30 fucking years. And became like the most trusted fucking translator in Japan. Just some gay dude from Canada that stuck around, and he learned a tea ceremony and everything else when he was there, because he said the number one thing was doesn't matter how long you live there, you're never Japanese to them, but
of course, yeah.
the more the difference, you can speak Japanese, but there's a difference between somebody being there and speaking Japanese, and then being there and understanding the culture, so that when you're speaking Japanese and you're talking about things, there's a stark contrast between those two, and that was like the biggest takeaway he had. But yeah, a Japanese tea ceremony would be pretty awesome to experience as well. Just everything there. It's the reason being, Japan was an island and left alone longer than almost anywhere else in the world, and it held on to its culture longer than almost anywhere else in the world in that regard, and it has very unique and different culture than many places in the world that is still readily accessible as a tourist location. There are lots of places that you can go that are less easy to do as a tourist, whether it's just more difficult to access locations or more dangerous in countries that are not as stable, etc. So Japan is a very unique place from that regard. Shout outs to pizza, not just the food, but Pizza Templar for the 5 sheet there. The super chat, very much thank you. Not even a message associated to it or with it. That's all we got. That's the show. Mr. Black is going to dip, and I'm going to as well. I have more gravel, if it's not already in my driveway, hopefully appearing soon. And then I get to haul hundreds of pounds of it into a ditch and dump it in and hope that it was enough. And so until next week, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for hanging out. Hope you had a good one. Stay safe until we see you again. And until then, peace.
Peace.